It's an interesting question. What can the PlayStation 5 do that the Xbox Series X can't? What can the Xbox Series X do that the PlayStation 5 can't? We get a lot of people talking without people actually knowing or fully understanding what both these powerful consoles are actually capable of. And I think a lot of that is due to, console warring and things like that, which is fine because I have fun with that as well. But also, there has been a large amount of, FUD, which stands for fear, uncertainty, and doubt, casted towards the PlayStation 5 simply over less than 2 teraflop difference in power, a 16 to 18% total difference, which is far, far less than the current difference between the Xbox One X and the PlayStation 4 Pro. So given that, most games should look about the same, play about the same, and I think that's a fair assessment. Now, this bit of news right here is exactly why I think Microsoft put too much stock in the whole 12 teraflop beast type scenario, but it's going to be an enlightening video, a good video. What's up, everybody? Crapgamer here with Crapgamer Reviews, back with another video. Thank you so much for checking it out. I appreciate it. Please like, share, subscribe. I would appreciate that as well. It helps out the channel tremendously, and it means a lot to me on a personal level. Thank you. So people always ask me, what's the easiest way and best way to support your channel? I love your content. You're amazing. Unscripted. It's great. Well, the best thing you can do, hit the like button, hit the bell so you're notified of all the content, because believe it or not, even if you're subscribed, that's no guarantee that you'll get a notification. So I always ask that people please do that. Shout out all the old subscribers, new subscribers, everybody in between. You're very, very, very appreciated. Always feel appreciated, and I always tell people if you got some kind of ideas or video ideas or some kind of criticisms or critiques, you can always hit me up on social media or Xbox or PlayStation, wherever, and we can talk about it if you want. Even if we have a difference of opinion, I love talking about it, and I think that's something that really kind of differentiates me from other YouTubers. I'm just passionate, unscripted, try to be humorous, try to learn the stuff as I go, and I feel like that goes a long way. But with that being said, I want to get into today's topic. Now, a lot of people were assuming that the Xbox Series X would get all of these 120 frames a second games. Every game would be 60 frames a second. Again, Microsoft had stated, wrongly of course, that the output for Series X, the standard output, would be 60 frames. Now we've learned that that's false because there's multiple 30 frames games, including the Medium, which is a launch Xbox Series X exclusive. Also, the Assassin's Creed games, the Watch Dogs game, Far Cry, all seem to be 30 frames per second on the Xbox Series X as well. Obviously they're going to be 30 frames per second on the PS5 too. I just think, a lot of that has to do with coming of support of the last generation, and I think that that's something that a lot of people are probably going to have to put up with for another year or so. But thankfully, Sony, on the other hand, they don't care. They're like, hey, we're going to build stuff strictly for the PlayStation 5. Buy our console to play these games because you need to buy it to play these games. Microsoft took the exact opposite approach. Kind of, it is what it is. But, there's always these kind of line drawn in the sand. What can the Xbox Series X do? It surely must be super powerful and can do 120, and PlayStation 5 can't do 120 frames and can't do 4K and can't do ray tracing. It keeps debunking all of these things that it's supposedly not supposed to be able to do, right? Debunked. And again, I find it to be hilarious because there's a lot of Xbox fanboys out there. And look, I like Xbox, and if you're a fan of my channel and you find it humorous and you find it entertaining or whatever, you're welcome. Thank you. I appreciate that. I don't hate Xbox. I want Xbox to get better. I want Xbox to be amazing and have great AAA exclusives. I want Xbox to be what I know Xbox to be, right? Which is never waiting 14 months between AAA exclusives, which is never waiting 2 years for new AAA exclusives, right? Which I just feel like the Xbox that most people come to know and love isn't the same Xbox anymore, and everybody's out there making excuses for it or damage controlling for it, and I don't understand that, and I never will. With that being said, the PlayStation 5 is more than capable of doing pretty much anything the Xbox Series X can do, and in fact can do some things that the Xbox Series X cannot do, given that the PlayStation 5 has the much better solid-state drive solution. We keep hearing about all the different things that the PlayStation 5 has to offer. Here's the thing. Microsoft keeps touting power. 12 teraflops. It's a monster. It's a beast. It's all this stuff, right? And they haven't shown off anything actually running on it. Why couldn't Halo, 3.5 months from launch, run on an Xbox Series X for an 8-minute demo? I don't understand that. Why has nothing been shown on the Xbox Series X? I'll keep complaining about this until they fix it, right? Sony, on the other hand, very aware that people want to see games actually running on the platform, and so what they do, show games running on the platform. Imagine that. Microsoft, on the other hand, I don't know what their deal is. Again, they're trying to sell Game Pass, not necessarily a console. That's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for them. I don't think it is. I don't think it is. I think that their numbers are up right now due to the situation in the world, but I don't think that those numbers are going to stay up once everything sort of gets back to normal and, people are flocking to get a PlayStation 5 and it jumps out to a huge lead and they want to play Spider-Man and Horizon Forbidden West and all that kind of stuff, and there's still no need to actually buy an Xbox Series X, and their big games aren't coming for 3 years anyway. So with that being said, what can the PlayStation 5 do? Can it do 120 frames? Well, absolutely, and according to this, which I will link in the description, you guys can check it out. I've already ported multiple times for multiple games that are going to reach that mark on the PlayStation 5, 120 frames per second. Again, you probably would need a TV to be able to accomplish this, or a monitor that can accomplish this feat, but again, this is something that is fully capable on the PlayStation 5, and now a developer's talking about it. I will link this article in the description. If you're new to my channel, every single news article is linked in the description. I source it every single time. If it is a news story, if it is an opinion piece, well, that's my opinion, therefore it does not need a source. If it is a leak or a rumor and I can link it, I will, because believe it or not, these sites cover rumors and leaks now, so it's easier. But if it's something somebody told me in confidence, I clearly cannot disobey that confidence and tell people who it was. It could get people in trouble. So with that being said, this is something that's pretty cool, because people are, again, downplaying what the Xbox Series X could do and or downplaying what the PS5 could do and opposed to the Xbox Series X. So this is what this developer is talking about with their game and Sony's next generation console and how using the PlayStation 5 works. And he says, and I quote, "We are at the very early steps of working on PS5. It's a bit early for me to say for sure. We will, of course, try to make the best use of the PlayStation 5's new hardware and feature. One thing that's most exciting to me is to use the new gamepad haptic features and a 120 frames per second frame rate to make gliding as smooth as possible." Now, elsewhere, he was also asked if there would be much difference between the PS5 and PC versions of the game, which he actually garnered a pretty good response. He says, "I have no idea at the moment. It's not especially a tech benchmark game, so I guess the difference is going to be thin. It's going to be moving and unique story on all platforms." So again, you maybe would assume that they would take some kind of advantage of that amazing solid-state drive technology that Sony has patented and that everybody's talking about. Again, you can't take that for granted, just how great and how big that is and what a big advantage that is. Now listen, I've stated this multiple times before. The Xbox Series X has a faster solid-state drive as well. Not faster than the PS5, but it's also held back because they've got to make games that work on a 2013 Xbox One. They've got to make games that work on PCs that cover the gamut of different specs. And not only do they have to do that, but PCs don't even have the hard drives that PlayStation has yet. It's not even out yet. They're not even available. Like Sony helped build that, and it's like incredible to think that this is the first time since I think the 360 PS3 era where consoles are actually improved and better than the majority of the PCs that are out there in the world. I mean, and these things are $500. Holy cow! What a way to kind of go, because you get a controller built into these things. You get yourself everything you need but the TV. And these things are capable of going to be doing 4K, 60, 120 frames, HDR. Ray tracing. Things that a $500 for a PC could never do, because we all already have a TV or whatever. But you got to get if you're just new to PC gaming, no way is a $500 going to get you everything that one of these consoles is going to get. It's particularly a 4K Blu-ray drive. You'd have to get keyboard and mouse and a monitor, and all this stuff is super expensive. So it's nice to see that consoles are giving extreme values no matter which side of the fence you're on, and I do love that fact. I've always been a console fan, and I always want consoles to kind of push the limits and be a thing. And so for these consoles to do well is going to be key going into future generations if we're going to continue to see more. That's why I'm fully hopeful that Sony, who has sets on selling between 120 and 170 million units, can actually do that and, you know, accomplish what their goal is, because that's going to continue to prove that there is a huge market for consoles, and, you know, and I feel like that's going to be good for everybody, because guess what, I ain't ready to give up my console, and I can tell that, like, you guys aren't either. Like, everybody that I know is a console gamer, and regardless of what you think about anything else, I feel like we need to agree that consoles need to be here to stay, and I'm super excited for that. And it sounds like Sony in particular has a lot of cool stuff planned. I'm very excited about the future of that stuff, and I would love to hear your thoughts and opinions on it in the comments below, or you can hit me up on Twitter at @_Crapgamer, or you can hit me up on Xbox Live MOH Crapgamer, or you can hit me up on PSN just Crapgamer. And I always love talking to you guys, talking video games or whatever. You can give me some ideas for some videos you'd like to see, or gameplay you'd like to see, or thoughts on something, or reviews that you'd like to see. I absolutely would be eager to do that for you guys. Please stay safe, happy, and healthy, and thank you so much for taking time out of your busy days to spend some time with me. Hopefully you enjoyed it and learned something. Thank you so much for watching. Rack 'em up, and as always, game on, my friends. Game on. Crapgamer, out.
Unscripted.